Hey, what is up everybody? Blitz for here, and today I have for you guys another video of Persona 5X. Inside today's video, guys, we're going to be talking about a little bit of the aftermath of the stream that happened today, going over 2.3. So if you guys are interested in this, be sure to sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. As always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, but let's get straight into it. Now, this is just going to be a whole summary of everything that's been going down. I watched little bits and pieces of it, and of course got a lot more of my information from my man, the Jocks, as well as a few other people that I talk to on a daily basis here. And there was some good things about it. Apparently I was not expecting there to be too much, seeing of course it is a side piece of an update, but instead of it being a side update, it's actually going to be a little bit something more. So if you guys can take a look at my screen here, we have the overview of the actual summary, or at least of the actual stream here, being that 2.3 update is going to be covering these said topics on October 23rd, of course. Now we have a main story chapter 3 phase 2 release, meaning we're going to be getting a new boss as well inside of the weekly bosses. We're going to have a new idol that's going to be coming out, being Kira Kitazato, aka Messa, which is an awesome freaking character. We'll get more into him as well, because I did hear he got some nice buffs. We have Yui getting a rerun. Nothing changed about her to my at least knowledge. City life updates, as well as some talk of the 110 banner and other features. Now, the huge highlight of this video, if you haven't at least noticed by the dang title, is the 110 banner, because it got a big buff here. So let's go ahead and deep dive into it a little bit more here. If you guys can check, we have the 110 banner. It was confirmed for the 2.3. That was already something that we expected here. But the first thing on the topic is going to be the Messa buffs. Now, this was a huge one because for Messa himself, he was a decent character on launch or her CN. Over the time being, he ended up kind of dying out, especially if you had no awarenesses on him. And now, even to this day, even with awarenesses, he slowly is dying out of the picture. Where we have certain characters like Ryuji, who at A6 are tied with a A0 Ange, can pretty much do what he does times 3. So instead, on the global version, we got a couple buffs here, and the A0 is the first thing to be buffed. Instead of a 65% chance to bleed, it is now a 70%. I stated something like this is what I wanted to see for his buffs here. Wanted to be like 75 or so, but 70% is still decent. But with the things they also changed was, of course, his skill 1 and skill 2. Inside of the Ripper mode, which I'm guessing inside of that's going to be his executioner mode, because I know they renamed a couple of things here. But he has one that's called the skill 1 called Midnight Surgery. This deals physical damage to one foe equal to 201%, which was the prior one, but now it's at 251.7% of attack, which is great. And seeing that it's only physical damage is definitely in the executioner mode that they're talking about here. And I gotta admit, the Ripper name, pretty dang cool. Jack the Ripper, you know, all right, Doctor being his regular one and Ripper being this one, I can kind of deal with the names this time. But skill 1 got at least a buff. Awesome. It's like 50%. Hopefully it does him a little bit better here, which is great. Then we have his skill 2, which is called Pathology. This one dealt, or at least used to deal, about 201.3% of damage to one foe. Now it also does 251.7% damage. So both are a huge increase for the amount of what's it called, jumps that it did need. Hopefully this changes the guy, because it did feel like even at like dupes, these moves didn't really deal enough. So hopefully now they actually can deal some decent damage as well. Then of course we have a couple things changed with his highlights. So his highlights damage used to be 328.5% for physical damage, is now 492.8% of attack, which is great. And then the big one, which is kind of interesting as well, is the A1. Now the A1 itself increases bleed, which is going to be almighty damage by 1.5%. or at least by 1.5 multiplier. This is kind of a huge deal because with the bleeds that he had, of course they were already almighty damage here, but the bleeds didn't deal too much damage. We didn't see much DOT that was going too crazy until, like, let's be honest here, until we got Barry. Her DOT stacks are crazy inside of the CN and TW clients here, and it really made a huge highlight to how Messa's DOT was kind of done a little bit dirty. Even when he first came out, his DOT wasn't the best here. So the bleeds finally are getting a major buff, and 1.5 is actually a huge multiplier here. So we might see this be great. The only downside is it's gated behind the A1. So if you do want this man to be exponentially better, you will need to, of course, dupe him once, which is going to be great. If you guys wanted to get my opinion on whether to go for the dupe or the weapon, I'm gonna tell you right now, get the dupe. It'll definitely be way better than getting the weapon, because the weapon can still help you out a little bit, seeing that it does help out his regular old attack, which goes directly for his DOT. Then we have the 5-star weapon called Dark Humors. This one ended up actually getting buffed as well. And on top of everything that it already does, it also increases the elemental accuracy by 15%. I think that's a perfect way to kind of help out his kit a little bit more, because a lot of you guys who don't know how Mesa works is he does use pin, he uses attack percentage, but with the DOT, he still has to proc certain things as well. So he needs a little bit of EHR, and he does scale off this said EHR as well. Normally we would have different characters alongside him that kind of help this out a little bit, or either like just overwhelm him with a ton of buffs so he can actually just deal some nice physical damage and just don't care about the EHR side of him. But this is no longer going to be the case. Now that the weapon itself has been boosted, we could possibly see that this is going to help him out a little bit more, because now he has attack on the weapon itself, he has pin, he has damage dealt, and he will on top of this have EHR. So unlike just having the 4-star weapon where it's just purely attack, he now has 4 different things on that 5-star weapon that will all be contributing to him and making him a lot better, which I do see this as a huge win for Mesa. Hopefully it does turn him up a little bit more when it comes down to the damage. But now we're gonna go ahead and scroll up here. Even the Josh said it, that personal opinion, skill multipliers are nice, but ultimately it's not enough for a character to be a little bit better. I kind of agree with this to an extent. I still feel like a lot of people should skip him, but if you definitely love the guy and you're willing to go that A1, it's definitely worth it. But the other huge news here, the 110 banner, this got buffed. So we finally got this talked about. It's going to be releasing in the 2.3 area, so this is going to be great here. Most likely they didn't acknowledge any soft pity things here, so it's most likely not going to have a soft pity, or either the soft pity is just going to be as bad as the 50-50. But on the targeted contract, which is the 100% guaranteed banner here, we now, instead of getting the 0.2 drop rate for a 5-star, it is a 0.4. Now I do believe this is the least they can do, especially if soft pity is generally not going to be talked about or not exist for the most part here on global rates. If that's going to be the case, this is pretty much the best outcome it can be with a 0.4 upgrade. This is the same amount as a regular just banner. So either way, you have a very good chance of getting this. If you do happen to pull a 5-star early, hey, that 0.4 rate really did come in clutch for you, which is always great. But once again, soft pity is going to be kind of dictating a lot of things for a lot of people getting their characters. So it's a huge buff, but it also is something that you know, is a little iffy as well. And I'm gonna go ahead and use the 110 myself, at least when it comes down to global, because if this is the case, it definitely will be worth it for my account, seeing that it is going to be a free-to-play account anyways. So I would advise you guys to kind of do the same. This is awesome to actually see. Huge buff for global here, and it would be awesome to see here. Other than that, there weren't anything too huge here. Of course, we do know the main story is going to be releasing, so I don't really have to go over that too much. You guys will get to experience that on the release. And then the other little features that got added, such as city life features, most likely the gachapon, and then will all be available. So nothing too crazy. I don't think we covered anything like on P5X alert here. Let me check the news account just to make sure I didn't miss anything. But if I'm right, we didn't really miss anything. Yeah, everything's pretty much just the same. So we got all the good stuff out the way. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please do smash that like button with your forehead. Very soon, I'm going to be doing a lot of things on the channel. Hey, some of the things you might not freaking agree with, I'm going to be trying to make this channel as good as possible, because I like you guys watching me for me and not watching me for P5X itself. So look forward to that content here, and look for some more diversity very soon. But until next time, everybody, thank you for watching. Peace.